Hey everyone, today we're going to be making Thanksgiving dinner in one bite on a Cooking Everything Outdoors show. The Cooking Everything Outdoors show is sponsored by Camp Chef at OutdoorCooking.com and IslandGrillstone.com. Thanksgiving dinner in one bite, Thanksgiving meatloaf. Yep, it's true. I put a Thanksgiving dinner into a meatloaf and it took a little while to get it right, but I think I nailed this recipe. In fact, it's so good, in my opinion, and Tailgater Magazine's opinion, that they featured it in their magazine in the November-December issue. And that is another reason why I'm sharing this video with you now, because I want to show you exactly how easy it is to make and how wonderful it is to enjoy. Preparation and equipment-wise, you really don't need that much. I'm going to be using the Camp Chef outdoor oven. You can use your indoor oven, you can use a gas grill or a charcoal grill. Any of those will work just fine. What you have to keep in mind is that we're baking, so no matter what you're using, no direct bottom heat so you don't burn this. I'm also going to be using a loaf pan, and this is cast iron, which I really like, and I think it imparts a nice traditional flavor to it. Traditional is probably not the right word, but it does impart a flavor that you just don't get from the tin ones. Now, it doesn't take a lot of ingredients to put this together, but it's best if you have either some leftovers or take a few minutes to prepare this. So I have some stuffing that I've prepared and some mashed potatoes. And now I'm going to show you how to put all this together. Ingredients wise, this is really simple. I'm going to need some ground turkey. You'll need some stuffing ready to go, some breadcrumbs, some dried cranberries, mashed potatoes, onion soup mix, some Dalmatian sage, some ground pepper, and 1 egg. The exact ingredients and measurements will be in the About section below or on my website. We'll set aside the mashed potatoes and the stuffing. So I want to add my ground turkey, my breadcrumbs, my onion soup mix, Dalmatian sage, my pepper, and 1 egg. So we now just need to get in here and mix all this up. You really got to get in there with your hands. Now that this is mixed together thoroughly, we want to lay out some wax paper. Pour your loaf out. What we want to do is we're going to form the loaf in a flat rectangle, approximately the width of our loaf pan. That's really important that you do it that way. And we're looking for a rectangle. It's going to be about 6 inches by 10 inches would be a good estimate there. That might even go 12 inches. Now we want to lay out our stuffing, which you're going to imagine this is going to be a big roll with the stuffing and the cranberry inside. Doesn't have to be packed. That's about 1 cup right there. Now we want to take our cranberries and we're going to put a nice layer of those there. Now these are dried and sweetened. You can get them unsweetened. I actually like the little bit of sweetness because it parallels the cranberry sauce. This is the tricky part. We need to get this in there in a roll. So what I like to do is I like to roll mine up and as best as possible get that seam pinched. Once we have it like that, you can very carefully flip it over so it's seam side down and then remove your wax paper and then give a final press to shape your loaf in there. And this should be a good 3/4 to 1 inch below the lip. Just like that. Pretty darn simple, right? Now we need to put our final ingredient on, and that's our mashed potatoes. And I just pile them in there. And you'll notice that I've used red potatoes, which I just love, and I left the skins on, which I just love. You can do the creamy white mashed potatoes if you'd like with no skin. There is no requirement. And that's it. That's basically what we're looking for. You can pretty this up as however you like. Okay, now you want to put this into a 350-degree preheated oven. The important thing here is that you understand that we're cooking with, number one, turkey, and it's stuffed. And those two ingredients combined together require an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Anytime you stuff anything, it has to be cooked to 165 to be safe. So I like to use a thermometer probe on mine, and I'm just going to judge as best I can and get that in there. Baking time until we hit 165 degrees should be about 45 minutes. Okay, at about 58 minutes exactly, took a little bit longer. It's kind of cool outdoors, so that's going to happen. I hit 164 degrees and I want to pull it now. Look at that. That is beautiful. So you're going to want to let this rest for a little while. 15 or 20 minutes would be just about right before we start slicing into it. I'm going to get those juices redistributing back into it. While that's happening, I'm going to whip up a little bit of gravy and we'll serve this bad boy up. And I just got a little rustic gravy I made here, full of lumps and everything, but for our purposes, it's going to work perfect. And now we need to get in here and get us a good chunk of our Thanksgiving dinner in a meatloaf. The first slice is always a little challenging to get out. And you can see the mashed potatoes there, the turkey, the stuffing, the cranberries. And really, only thing you need now is a little bit of green beans, and you've got it. So if you're tailgating, if you're camping, if you're home alone, knock this bad boy out because it is full of great flavor, great taste, great bites. It tastes just like a Thanksgiving dinner. So that's it for me. I'm out of here. Go check out the November-December issue of Tailgater magazine. You'll see my article there. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, share it, tell everybody about it, and happy Thanksgiving.